Hallow's End is coming. In the next few weeks, Arena will become pandemonium with dual classes. In this special event, you will get to pick two classes at the start. The first class will become your portrait, and the second class will be your hero power. During drafting, you will be able to draft cards from both classes, which can create a lot of crazy combos. With our knowledge of last year's dual class and the Boomsday meta, here's 5 solid strategies to decide what class to pick. Looking at the class tier list, Warrior is among the top 4 classes. It has a strong set of weapons, and it receives more powerful cards due to micro adjustments. However, it also has the least impactful hero power in Arena. By replacing the hero power with any of the other top classes, you increase the strength of Warriors even further. The best hero powers that'll work well with Warriors are those that can deal damage, especially Mage. This increases the power level of Warrior cards such as Execute, Battle Rage, Frothing Berserker, and any weapon. One of the dirtiest plays would be to remove a large minion with Execute and hero power. At the same time, Warriors' weapons will give classes that have no access to weapons a lot more flexibility. Given Warriors' diverse toolkit, you're able to draft multiple different archetypes. Combining with Priest can form a super control deck, while combining with Mage or Druid can form strong aggressive decks. Here's some cautionary advice. Avoid picking Warrior with Rogue and, to a lesser extent, Warlock. The Warrior-Rogue combo looks strong on paper. You can buff your Warrior weapons with Rogue buffs, you can upgrade lesser mithril spell stones just from Rogue's hero power. Lastly, Rogue has a lot of draw power and tempo tools to complement Warrior's arsenal. The key problem is redundancy in weapons. Warrior has strong weapons, and you want to use those rather than the Rogue hero power. This means that you either have to avoid drafting Warrior weapons, or you avoid using the hero power. As useless as Armor Up might be, healing Face will still be stronger than 2 mana Do Nothing. A similar logic applies to Warrior and Warlock. Both classes use their health aggressively for gaining an advantage. This means that you could end up taking too much damage before you get to regain control. Going forward, a good rule of thumb to keep in mind is to avoid class redundancy while finding ways to complement them. According to last year's Hearth Arena data, Warlock, Rogue, and Mage were the top dogs for being the hero power classes. This makes perfect sense, since the 3 classes have the best hero powers in Arena. If you pick these classes first in the draft, you're not going to be able to have their respective hero power. Out of all these, Warlock is probably the class to avoid as the first class, since Life Tap complements every class. Druid should be especially good with Warlock's hero power due to Malfurion's ability to spread the board and killing you with board buffs. You'd be playing a much stronger Zoo deck, and the same can be said when paired with Shaman. A different line of reasoning applies for avoiding Rogue. Rogue has good cards that synergize with her hero power, but if you can no longer dagger up as your hero power, you run into the problem of having useless cards showing up during draft. More importantly, Rogue's hero power is just very strong. By taking Rogue first, you would pass up on her hero power, which means that you're worse at playing the tempo matchups. Now, we've talked about classes to pick for first class and second class, let's talk about the dual class meta. In every custom Arena event in the beginning, there's a huge influx of new players. The most common mistake new players make is by picking all the flashy cards while not drafting for curve. Hunter is often labeled as the noob farmer in every new expansion because Hunter's hero power can finish opponents before they get to play their stuff. The beauty of Hunter is it can be picked as the first or second class. If you pick Hunter first, you can make Hunter stronger by having a more impactful hero power to maintain board control. If you pick Hunter second, you're looking to build an aggressive deck that curves out earlier by having some reach and card draw as finishers. There are several Hunter cards that become much stronger with dual class. Hunter's Mark can become a 3-mana large removal with a hero power that deals damage. Unleash the Hounds pairs well with board buffs. And Eaglehorn Bow can benefit off of Mage and Rogue secrets. Lastly, Beast synergy cards are stronger when paired with Druid Beasts. At the same time, Hunter as a single class often lacked good card draws. The strongest class to pair Hunter with will be Druid. It just complements the class so well with Beasts, board buffs, and card draws. Warlock, Rogue, and Mage are also good partners for having a stronger hero power and more reach to finish your opponent off. But what happens if you don't like to smork? Traditionally, Priest as a single class had some obvious weaknesses despite having so many powerful removals. 1, the hero power isn't impactful when you have no minions on the board. 2, Anduin has a tough time dealing with multiple minions with 4 attack. And 3, the class also lacks powerful cards in the early game once Potion of Madness and Cabal Talon Priest left standard. The list goes on, but with another class in the mix, you can cover up a lot of these flaws. Mage, for example, has strong early game tools, strong early game minions, and different removals that help cover whatever Priest can't already remove. One super premium card to note is Leyline Manipulator. Priest has a lot of cards that generate other cards, which increases the power of Leyline. Priest Mage will likely be a really strong control combination. Warlock and Rogue will also be strong partners by providing a stronger hero power while covering more versatile removals. Here's one last tip for you now that we've talked about Priest. Be mindful to avoid taking too much removal. Now this applies to every draft regardless of class, but in dual class arena you'll be offered a lot more removal because class cards tend to have more removal effects. If more than half of your deck becomes removals, it gets a little awkward. Once again, you want to pay very close attention to redundant effects. If you already have multiple small removals, Shadow Pain, Frostbolt, Shadowblade, you don't need another small and weak removal like Demon Fire. If you have multiple board clears, you don't need another Hailfire. If you already have, say, 4 weapons including a Super Collider, you definitely don't need another Super Collider. Thus, one very important detail to keep in mind is the curve. With such a significant shift of card quality, it can become very easy to pick all the premium class cards while failing to draft a curve. A solid early game curve will still be a strong approach to stop aggro. In summary, we're excited for Dual Class Arena. The main takeaway is to avoid redundant effects while picking strong classes based on their hero power. Before we end, we also like to make a shout out to Twitch. Once the dual class starts, there'll be a challenge involving Twitch streamers on a race to accumulate 5,000 gold with a new account. More details are in the description below. As a result of this event, there will be an incredible amount of exposure to Arena. There's going to be a lot of crazy highlights, and we can't wait for you to tell us your stories. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video for more Hearthstone content.